This is Mick Foley.
This is Harley Race.
This is Shelton Benjamin.
This is Mr. Wonderful Paul Orndorff.
This is the Monster Abyss.
And this is Daniel Bryan.
This is JBL, and you're watching the MWF.
Be there, live.
Wrestling fans around the corner, around the world, welcome to another episode, another adventure, some may call it, of our audio-only Wrestling Insider podcast episodes. I'm Dan Marotti, of course, joined by my partner in crime,
Mr. USA, the WWE Hall of Famer, Ric Flair.
It's Ric Flair today. All right, Tony.
Yeah, I'm Ric Flair today. Tony, y'all know this old Tony. Nobody else talk like this. Got an old Southern accent.
Well, and that's why you have so much charm, people. That's why Tony and people enjoy hearing from you so much. I know you're a busy man up there today. We're going to try and bang out a couple of quick episodes, maybe a couple of more later in the week, as I know we're working on a big surprise for the fans. You're drawing, you're talking on the phone. Father's Day's coming up. The fans are heading on over to eBay, Tony, to see everything that you offer. These drawings are coming out magnificent. You can commission the WWE Hall of Famer for a drawing. And, you know, forget about Cameo. Cameo, you get a 30-second video. The Hall of Famer himself is available for personal phone calls that'll have you smiling and laughing, and you'll never forget them. Believe me, I say that about just about every one of the 9 or 10 calls I get from Tony a week. I do remember them for a lifetime. But that's over on eBay. Tony's also available for personal appearances. He's been hitting the East Coast. He's been doing talk shows. He's been doing baseball card stores. He's anxious to get back into this studio once he's allowed by Governor Charlie Baker. I don't know if they're worried he's going to riot or whatnot, but Tony, it's been a heck of a time, but we're doing everything we can to keep you busy, brother.
Well, thank you very much. I appreciate it.
All right, Tony, this episode is going to be wrestling themed, and then what will be available for you folks at home tomorrow will be the latest Atlas World News. But here in the wrestling theme one, Tony, in a world of wrestling right now where the women are very much involved with it, cyberbullying has become a main topic of conversation. I'm not sure if you're familiar with the Japanese female star, Hana Kimura, that killed herself last week. She was bullied online after an episode of a reality show on Netflix received a lot of negative feedback towards her for an incident she had with one of the men on the program that ruined her wrestling gear as she left it in the dryer. She has passed away. It has received a lot of warmth in the community towards her. And then not too long after that, there was a wrestling pundit on Twitter that not only attacked Alexa Bliss of WWE for her wrestling talent, but I guess her lack of sexual positions, to be PC, Tony. So a lot of these ladies are being attacked on social media in the wrestling world. One of them killed themselves, and Alexa Bliss was not happy with the video that was made about the fans commenting on the sexual positions. I think anyone that enjoys wrestling is certainly welcome to comment on what they like and what they don't like, but I think maybe that went a little too far.
Well, I'm going to make a whole lot of people mad.
All right, I want to hear it, brother.
I knew I was going to put my foot in my mouth because that's why God gave me 2 feet, one to stand on and one to put in my mouth. The whole world here is getting too sensitive. My mother used to tell us things when we was young. She said, I didn't promise you no rose garden. See, we all going to have hardships. You know, we all talk about that we number one, we great, we this, we that. We got to stop being so... Okay, let me tell this quick story.
Sure.
I was in Guatemala, Central America. Me and Roberto Soto, I remember Roberto and Manuel Soto was there, and Don Canuto was there. Them are the 3 people that I remember that was there because we hung out together.
Don Canuto was on the tour?
Don Canuto was on the tour. 1975, we in Guatemala. That was the same year the big earthquake hit. In fact, the earthquake hit 2 days after we left. But anyway, make a long story short, I was dating a girl over there, and on the last day, I wanted to say goodbye to her and her mother. The mother met me at the door. And during the week that I was there, I took the mother, the whole family out to dinner. I bought them groceries. I bought them clothes. I wine and dined them. I didn't have any sexual affair with her daughter. It was kind of like a high school date because I wanted to be respectful. Plus, I'm in Guatemala, Central America, and I didn't have no raps with me, so I wasn't going to take a chance of bringing something of venereal disease home. But anyway, getting back to the story, getting back to the store. On the last day, I went to her house to say goodbye to her. And then her mother said, "You cannot see my daughter." And I said, "Why not?" She said, "Because we are Christians, and in the Bible it said you should not lie." And I said, "What did I lie about?" She said, "My daughter asked you, were you rich?" Now, at that time, I was making about $75,000 a year, which here in America is not considered rich. That more or less middle class. So I said, "No, I'm not rich." I said, "Well, I'm not rich." She said, "Well, do you have a television?" I go, "Yes, ma'am." "A car?" "Yes, ma'am." "Do you have your own place to live?" "Yes, ma'am." "A refrigerator?" "Yes, ma'am." She said, "Well, how can you have so much and not be rich?" You see, in most places, just having the necessities of life to people in Guatemala, Central America, is a rich man.
It makes them rich.
In America, we can have more than what we need and still want more. And so what happened, you raised a generation of people that have what they call entitlement to something. They're not used to being without. They always had. When my brother went to Vietnam, the story he told me about Vietnam, he said the reason they had so much trouble fighting in Vietnam because they would take a bowl of rice and go down them little tunnels, and they stayed there for a freaking week. He said the guys that he was fighting with, every 5 minutes they wanted a freaking cigarette. You know, we can't go without. We're not used to being without.
Different mentalities, yeah.
Right, different mentality, and so that's why all this social media is so strong now. You know, nobody could do any more to you verbally than what you let it. You know, when I first started in wrestling, I told you that many a time. I would call nigger so many times that sometimes when one guy called me and said, "Hey, Tony," I kept walking. I didn't know who the hell he was talking to. But I did not. If I had let that get in the way of things, I would have never, you know, we got called names all the time. You ask anybody, I would say age 50 and over. That's why you couldn't bully us.
I also think that with a lot of maybe the females from yesteryear, whether it be Moolah, Sherry Martel, Mae Young, Luna Vachon, they'd almost take these insults as a badge of honor, Tony.
Well, no, they have thicker skin.
They have thicker skin. All right.
Wait, because that was the days of the heels and the baby faces.
Right.
I mean, when a heel walked out there, did they call you everything but a child of God?
Right.
You know, you don't have heels and baby faces anymore, so they don't get the same treatment that we got. The fans of the days wrestler, they wouldn't last in the 70s. They would run home crying to their mommies. You asked Fit Finley, he got shot at. Well, when he was here. Oh, yeah, I see wrestlers get cut, shot at, and everything. But we came through a different, we raised thick-skinned people. Suck it up. You know, they suck it up. You know, it started with the coaching. When that guy had the greatest basketball team, you know, one of the greatest coaches ever lived, and he walked on the court and slapped one kid, and the world started, "Oh, my goodness." What was that coach? Indiana coach, was it?
Oh, Bobby Knight.
That's what I'm saying.
Bobby
all
Knight,
coaches, anybody that played sports in the 60s, 70s, 80s will tell you that was every freaking coach in the world right there.
The abuse was normal.
It was not abuse.
What was it then, Tony?
See, we are such punks. We are turned into such 65 punks that everything is freaking abuse.
It's not abuse to you.
No, come on.
How would you classify it then?
Well, it's not abuse. It's a slap. Come on, suck it up.
Well, did they deserve to be slapped by Bobby
No,
Knight?
you're missing the part. You're missing that. You're missing the psychological part. When I started looking as a slap as being abuse, what I'm going to call abuse. You see what I'm saying?
Do you call exactly? What would you call hardcore abuse?
I remember when I was a kid. If you say something bad to a woman, she slapped you across the face. My mother slapped me across the face. What my mom do? Abusing me now? How many kids out there been slapped by their moms? So every mother is an abuser. Yeah. See, that's what's wrong with these big these big strong words that we use. And we don't have to, and that's why cyberbullying is so so hard on people. So my best advice to people, words can't hurt you. Only sticks and stones will break my bones, but names could never hurt unless you let them. You have to be weak enough to let. That's a weak person. You know, the inside. You don't have that inside toughness. You know, what built this country is toughness, not physical. See, we think of toughness. We only think of the physical aspects of toughness. Mm-hmm. My mother was the toughest person I ever met in my life. She went to work at 7 o'clock in the morning, got called names and everything, bad, everything, and work a split shift. She worked from 7 to 2, and then from 3 to 11. She came home at 2 o'clock to teach us and greet us for school. Then she went right back to work. We had to set up until 11 o'clock at night for her to get back home.
Incredible work ethic.
Well, every American was like that. But then as time went on, we got softer and softer and softer and more wimpier. When I had a problem in the street with somebody, we had a fist fight. Mm-hmm. You get a problem with somebody now, the first thing they do is pull out a gun. People that can't even fight no more. The average person now couldn't whoop their way out of a wet paper bag if they really got into a fight. We are turned into a world of wimps. And every little thing hurt our feelings. Everybody's feelings get so delicate now. It's like we are living like an elephant in a freaking china glass. Yes, there are. When somebody says something to me, it don't bother me. One time a person called me a MF. I'm not going to use, you know what that is, right?
What were the two initials again, Tony?
F.
MF?
F.
MFer?
Yeah.
All right, I understand.
And you know what my mom told me?
What did you say? What did she say?
She said, boy, that's why my mom always hit you with that. Boy, we're along like that to get your attention. Because my mother had this old say, I'm only going to tell you this once. Don't let me tell you again. Because next time she tell you, you're going to be with a spanking. See what I'm saying? You got to listen the first time. She said, what name is on your identification card there? And what name is on your birth certificate? I said, my name is Anthony. She said, well, unless they say Anthony, they're not talking to you. I didn't name you no MF.
I like that.
I didn't name you that. She said, don't answer to any name that is not you. You do not let people dictate who you are to you. Once you accept that, it was like in the wrestling business. I hope I got to tell this story about George Scott. Yep. George Scott, one time, I was going to quit the business. Rocky Johnson talked me out of it. Because George sent me down to Florida. Mm-hmm. And Florida was the most racist of all the places. I don't know if y'all knew that. I mean, North Carolina, all that, they didn't have nothing on Florida.
Florida was the most racist territory?
Florida, I can't stand Florida. But anyway, I couldn't live there. I mean, that was the most racist during the 70s. Now, how it is now, I don't know. Mm-hmm. I'm talking about Florida in the 70s, people.
The 70s, all the
people in Florida. I'm not talking about Florida now. I hadn't been there. I just visited. I don't know what the relationship is between black and white now. But in my day, in the 70s, I was in Florida, and I was going to quit the business. Rocky Johnson talked me out of it. Mm-hmm. So then I came back, and you know his old saying, telephone, telegraph, and tell a wrestler?
Right.
How George Scott knew about it, I don't know.
But George Scott found out.
Found out. And knew. And I'll tell you how quick he found out. By the time I got back to Charlotte, I caught the flight that morning. They flew back to Charlotte. At the show that night, George was asking me about it.
Now, what did George Scott ask you about this?
He said, Tony, I hear you was saying you're going to quit the business. He said, you know, we got a lot invested in you. And I said, George, I can't be taking them, all them, black jokes like that.
Who called you the name, Tony? Was it a fan? Was it a wrestler?
Okay, you finished. Let me tell the story. You're going to get me all messed up. We're going to be on this for 30 minutes, and people are still going to be waiting for the finish. But, that's how that happened. But anyway, as George Scott said, he said, I heard about your little incident in Florida. I go, yes, sir. He said, now Thunderbolt Patterson used to fight with him, and I told Thunderbolt that's not the right way to do. He said, if you would listen to me, I would tell you the thing to do. So I listened to him, and George Scott told me a black joke. And I go, well, how in the hell that's going to help me? I said, you doing it too. He goes, no. He said, I want you to, every time they tell you a joke, I want you to tell them that joke. So I said, what the hell? So anyway, sure enough, I listened to old George Scott. They were just laughing, telling, this joke, this black joke, this Mexican joke, and a lot of Polish jokes too. I forgot about that. It was a lot of Polish jokes.
A lot of Polish jokes. This man is black. That's why Ole Anderson was such a jerk, because they used to hit him with them Polish jokes. They called him a dumb Polak. Ole didn't like the Polish joke.
No, he didn't like the dumb Polak stuff. No, he didn't. But anyway, make a long story short, so I went in the dressing room, and they were telling their joke, and I laughed with them. Mm-hmm. That shocked them. I was laughing. Then I said, hey, I got one. And I told the joke George Scott told. So the next day, I didn't hear any more that night. So the next night, I came in and I said, hey, I got another black joke. We don't want to hear them jokes. You understand? People will bully you. See, anybody, internet told me, say, I would beat you up every day if you would let me. Bullying could go on as far as a person let them go. Mm-hmm. That's how bullies operate. That's why they do it on the computer. Most of these people that is doing the bullying, they will run from you in real life.
Sure, I think that's very accurate.
They will run in real life. So they have to find a whooping post, something to beat up on to make themselves feel good about themselves. Now, me, I'm not trying to blow my own horn or nothing, but I started off with the police athletic league at AAU boxing. So I started off as a boxer. So once I left that ring, I tried to avoid fight because I didn't have to worry about, I didn't have that fear. I didn't pick on nobody because I knew they couldn't beat me.
Yeah,
I knew that. I just knock you out. I knew that. Then when I got into wrestling, I became the state champion. And I said, well, hell, if nobody could beat me on that mat, I'm pretty sure ain't nobody could beat me on the street. Because I'm trained, I'm in shape, and they not. Even now, as a senior citizen, I just left the gym. It probably don't sound like a lot to a lot of people. I just bench pressed 365 pounds for 3 reps.
Wow.
Just morning. And I'm a senior citizen. So if I'm walking down the street, unless you could push up 350 pounds, I ain't worried about you.
You're not losing much sleep over it.
No, not at all. I may not could fight as long as I used to, but I could fight just as good. But I'm more dangerous than what I'm doing there. Because I'm gonna try to get rid of your ass as quickly as I can. So if I know any hope they're gonna hurt you, I'm gonna hurt you.
You're gonna use it quick.
Yeah, in the old days, I just beat you up in the older days. Today, I ain't beating you up. I'm gonna hurt you. I'm telling you. You see me carry that big old stick with me, right?
Yep.
I'll whack you in the fucking head with it. I'm sorry. I'll knock you in the middle of next week. I ain't going to let nobody hurt me. I'm too old. I got a wife to worry about. I got grandkids to worry about. I got my wife in the hospital. She's doing up my butter every day. And I'm not going to become, if something happened to me, who's going to take care of her? She just had a stroke. She's going to need attention for the rest of her life when she come home. And I got to be there for her when she do come home. So that's the thing, the advice I give to America. Toughen the F up. We talk about how tough we are, but the least of the things somebody do to us, we go crying, whine. We got to stop all that crying, whining, and carrying on. It's shameful blaming everybody. Crying, we don't get your way. See, I've been in other countries, and every wrestler would tell you this. We used to come back from these other countries like Africa and all these places. You know what the first thing we used to do?
What?
This was in the 70s now.
All right.
We used to get down on our hands and knees and kiss the ground.
You were that happy to be back in America.
Because I always say this. It should be mandatory for every person in America when you're born. It's mandatory to visit another country. You will never bitch again.
You'd appreciate what you have a little more.
You will never bitch again. People here don't have a clue. They don't have a clue of what they talk about. They like morons. They did no research about it. Like I hear people say, "Oh, we don't want no socialism. We don't want." I like socialism now. I'm old. My Social Security check is Social Security. Is socialism. Okay. I like my Social Security check, y'all. And I like Medicaid and Medicare. What if me and my wife, we didn't have no insurance? What would my wife be right now if it wasn't for Medicaid and Medicare? You tell me. Where would she be?
Bad place.
Thank you. See, people talk until something happens. You know, until once something happened in your life, then you turn around and say, "Oh, but maybe that ain't so bad." Like during the academic, that unemployment check. Mm-hmm. How did that old socialism check feel right now to people?
For those that are getting it, I'm sure it feels great.
They're feeling pretty good. And the one that get it, probably somebody that don't want socialism. They got it, don't they? They wouldn't know socialism if we went up there and bit them in the ass. See, what they try to do is turn socialism into communism. It's not the same thing.
Two different things.
Fascism, socialism. We are a socialist country. Mm. I mean, we got a safety net that won't make you a socialist country. We are, even though want to admit it or not. We are. We are a socialist country because we got safety net. We got welfare. We got daycare. We got stuff for mentally ill people. I mean, when a person goes to a mentally ill home, ain't that socialism?
Well, sure. Yeah, to some degree it is. Yeah,
there's a government-ran program. Yeah. Now, some places, like the one I used to work at, is privately owned. Mm-hmm. You see what they did? The government used to run all of it. There used to be big institutions, you know, where they put all these, you know, mentally kids with Down syndrome. It didn't matter if you were schizophrenic or had Down syndrome, they put them all together in one institute. So the government closed the institutions. And once they closed the institution, that when they took that money they used to put in the institution, and then they put it into these other entities. And welfare closed the orphanage home. Mm-hmm. You get what a welfare, guess what coming back?
The orphanage.
Thank you.
The orphanage is going to come back for these kids.
They're going to come back to kids, but not only that, it's going to cost you more in taxes because you got to pay for that building. Costs a hell of a lot more than an apartment. My wife's room is $350 a day.
And it's not the Hilton.
Exactly. So once you institutionalize somebody, they're going to pay the taxpayer going to pay about $300 a day to institute that person, where you can put them in an apartment for $600 a month.
Cheaper.
A hell of a lot cheaper. That's why welfare is saving Americans money, not costing them money, but people don't read, unfortunately, for my American citizens. They don't read and they don't check things out. They look for things themselves. And that's what I got to say about cyberbullying. Words could only hurt you as much as you let them. Get to know yourself. Get to love yourself. You know, I wish I could tell you, I could tell it in a way where it won't get you kicked off the air.
All right, sure.
I wish Skip Young was here because Skip fell in the ground laughing. When I was bodybuilding, right, I never really had big calves. My calves only measure 18 inches. But 18 inches might be big on somebody, but they're small on a frame like mine, right? Mm-hmm. You know, because I got 20-some inch arms, so my calves should be 20 inches. So we had a YMCA in Charlotte, North Carolina. Me and old Skip Young was the guy. Remember him, Sweet Brown Sugar?
Yes.
Okay. Guy came up to me, and I just wanted to Mr. North Carolina. In fact, a guy just texted me, said he found the tape. I wish you could get it there. Of me, Jimmy Superfly Slooker, Frank Martin, and Ricky the Dragon Steamboat on stage in the bodybuilding contest.
Oh, I'll have to look for it.
Yeah. Well, no, I gave the guy's number. Maybe he could. He said he just saw a copy of it. The guy named Ben Masters. I was supposed to work for him, but didn't provide it. He was in Georgia. But anyway, he was messaging me. He said, "Tony, how you win the Mr. USA contest with them skinny calves? You know." Start making fun of me. Mm-hmm. Hey, look at them calves. It looked like you got into a betting match with an Austrian and you won his legs. So I had about enough of it.
Yeah.
So I walked over to him, and I said, look, I got a big chest. I got big arms. I got big thighs. I got a big bank account. I got a big penis. And I don't need no damn cash.
And that told him.
Yeah, but yeah, the big penis part hit home hard because I knew what he had. Okay,
Well,
back then, guys, you could shower together in the older days, remember?
Yeah.
So when I hit him with the big penis, that really hit him, caught him, that made him mad, you know?
Yeah, he had a little John Russo in him.
Yeah, I told him, I said, you let me slap this Alabama black snake between your girl legs and see how she's feeling. Yeah,
Well,
I put that Alabama black snake on him.
well,
Yeah, but see, because my mother taught me not to let words bother me, because you have to be. Wait, that's how wrestling was. All the old timers like that, you know that.
Oh, I know, Tony. I think maybe.
Yeah,
I
look
think
at the
it
sheep,
is yet
man.
another.
Imagine trying to hurt the sheep feelings.
You couldn't. You still couldn't.
No, the sheep will look at you. Yeah, stupid American. You tell the sheep like that, the sheep will put you in a camel cut and make you humble.
Well, do you think, Tony, part of the problem we're facing right now is, although I have a great story for you when we do a Seth Rollins episode later in the week, believe me, but back to the topic at hand, these are women we're talking about. They're different than men in a lot of ways.
Brother, what is that my mother was?
Well, your mother sounds like she was a very special individual.
Brother, let me tell you something. If women are tougher than men anyway.
But they're very sensitive in a lot of ways.
No.
They're not sensitive.
No.
All right.
They play the games.
Yep.
They play the game, brother.
Tony, I don't think Hana Kimura was playing a game as she killed herself.
Brother,
she was upset.
Brother, ask my wife, ask any woman out there. All right, ladies, we're going to teach Dan Morella a little something about it. Women are catty.
Well, I need to know this when I have to deal with Linda Moratti. They're very catty, is what you're trying to tell me. Yeah.
They had to be that way, or they're showing that guy getting choked to death on TV again. I got to change it. I can't watch
All
that.
right, well, we'll be talking about that on the Atlas World News.
But I got to change channel.
Change the channel, Tony. We want you to be comfortable.
I can't watch no more of that. It hurts.
Well, but again, if you're, I'll try and distract you from what you saw on the TV, Tony. But with Alexa Bliss, again, for fans to comment on what they like about wrestling on TV, what they don't like, that's fine. It's almost like people that critique movies or TV shows. But for this person to go on the internet and rant in a video about how her sexual movements, I could see that being offensive to someone.
Well, you see, what is happening is not just with women wrestling. Yeah. It's in general. Nobody want to work for nothing no more. Yeah. It started, believe it or not, way back with Laws of London, when Kurt Hennig and all them guys joined Laws of London.
All the Minnesota guys.
Right. And they hear about you get this big payday.
Big
everybody started quitting Vince and talking about, but see, the idea was once you collect that money, you can't go in the ring more. Why like Kurt didn't wrestle no more?
Well, he came back in '92.
Well, I think because he probably didn't get all the money, but the guys were doing that stuff. I mean, a lot of guys did that. And so what ended up happening, if you watch the television, Bill Cosby and all these guys are going to jail now for what? Sexual harassment.
Sexual abuse? Yeah.
Right. I mean, Bill O'Reilly lost his job because he went by and did this to a girl.
That's what Bill O'Reilly did? He went,
That's it.
All right, well.
Gone. You were joking about it. You were joking about it the other day about Joe Biden, what he did 30 years ago. I mean, these people are talking about what happened to him 30 freaking years ago, brother, trying to cash in on it now.
Still get a payday.
It's kind of like the same thing they did with Vince on the concussion. I mean, John Luther, Jonathan retired when Vince McMahon was born.
Right.
And he's trying to sue Vince now. And when he was wrestling, Vince wasn't even born.
One last payday.
That's what it's all about, brother.
Last payday.
Everybody, because life is so expensive now. Yep. Mark Henry had been sued. Jake the Snake Roberts had been sued. One of the things that wrestlers would do, the first time I saw was in 1980. Me and Rocky had the belt. I think it was 82 or 83 we had that belt.
83 into 84, yep.
Yeah. And we were standing there and watched this guy who was talking to us,
Mm-hmm.
And all of a sudden, he ran out and jumped on the hood of a car and laid in the street. Rocky walked away and he said, yeah, he's going to get a nice paycheck for that. And they knew what car to run to.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
They could smell money, these people.
They smelled the
Of
money.
all the cars, he was standing there talking to all the cars that went by him, thousands of cars. He waited for this particular car to come by. And as soon as he did, he ran out there. The car never hit him. I told Rocky, and I said, Rocky, we should go with the police car. Rocky said, are you fucking nuts? He said, let the man make his money. Yeah, he said, let the man make his money. Yeah, they would jump out in front of a car, man, just get a paycheck.
All right, well, Tony, as we wrap up this episode, let me ask you this on maybe the flip side of the coin. Why do you think there are these individuals that find the need to go on Twitter or Facebook, Instagram, whatever it may be, and attack individuals like that? Again, if you want to critique someone's performance, that's fine. But to cause someone to kill themselves, that's a rough day at the office.
No,
it's not.
Yeah, I understand that, but what has happened, the reason most people would do that, let's say a guy go to work and he get a lot of crap out of it. His boss give him a lot of crap that day, right?
Mm-hmm.
So he go home frustrated. Some men, not all, some women, not all, would take their frustration out on either they wives or their kids.
Mm-hmm.
But everybody needs that relief valve. I always took it out on the weights when I got upset. I would just go to the gym and burn it off, or I would draw. Drawing is a good way of to relax my nerves. But most people don't have an outlet,
right?
So they need somebody to strike out, strike out against. And so they see when they do it on Twitter,
mm-hmm.
when they do it they not there, so they get very brave then.
Right.
It's kind of like the older days with guys they was around in the older days too, and they would do this. If I were you, Dan, I wouldn't take that. You gonna take that, Dan? I wouldn't take that. But if that guy turned and did the same thing to him, he'd take off running. But they try to juice you up to do it, see? As long as you do it, they all for it. Just like the people that cheer for a war. Yeah, we should go over there and make a pocket out of Iraq. What do you mean we? You ain't going?
Right, you're not signing up for the military.
They would cheer, they would cheer for your sons and your daughters to go over there. They cheer for that all day long, as long as they ain't got to go. See? You see people on the sideline, yeah, get him. But you say, okay, come and help me. Well, do what now? What you heard? I got to go somewhere. I saw this commercial the other day that was like that. The guy said, can you help me move Saturday? He said, I wish I could, but I'm busy Saturday. The guy said, well, I didn't tell you what Saturday. Yeah, okay. And then the guy didn't know how to say it. It's a commercial to come on and do that. That's us. Yeah. We would cheer any freaking thing as long as we don't have to be involved.
Right. That's a good point of view.
Yeah, you want to say about it. Well, we should go to that. Right? You going to join the military? Not me, brother. But it's okay for you to say this young man and this young lady over there. But you rooting it all day long because you ain't going. See, and that's what these bullies are. In real life, they're cowards. There ain't no such thing as bullies anymore. They're cowards because a bully do it. They call it cyber bullying, and by calling it cyber bullying, you're giving them power. A bully got power like Poffo and Brutus.
Yeah. What
did Brutus look like?
Pluto, you mean?
Yeah. What did he look like?
Kind of like Tugboat.
Yeah, but he showed what? Strength and what?
He was a big, hefty guy.
Right, but he showed strength.
Yeah.
See? And sometimes they made him muscular. If you saw a lot of Popeye, sometimes he was not a volleyball. A lot of times he was muscular because he played different character.
Yeah,
like he played a
different
strong
actors.
Yeah, he was always a big, strong heel.
Yeah.
So when you call these people a bully, that gives them power.
You can't give them power.
Because that's what they want. They want to be called a bully. The more you say bully, the more they're going to do it.
They feel like
that's what they want it to be called a bully. I could bully somebody. I'm a bully. He feel powerful now. that they use a bully. You call them what they are, cowards.
Well, Tony,
Computer and what you call it, cyber cowardness.
cyber
Because
cowards.
a real man would tell you what they think in front of your face. A coward, we had other names for them too. Cutthroats, backstabbers. See, we had these people in our day. We had them in our day. We just gave them the right identity. Y'all giving them. We don't fuel the fire. You know how they say you fight fire with fire? We didn't do that. We threw water on that shit.
There you go.
We drowned that flame out, brother. And if we put enough water where the kindling is so wet that you have to wait for the kindling to dry before you light that fire again. We put so much water on that. You understand?
I do.
That's how, I'm so nuts. I picked up the remote to my TV. I was talking to you on my remote, and I finally turned my head. I said, Tony, you're holding the remote.
Well, I'm not surprised.
I just had to share that with the people out there. But yeah, call them. See, when you call things for what it is, then they don't want that label. Who want to be called a cyber coward?
No one.
See? Who want to be called a bully? Yeah, that ain't so bad, especially if you're a male.
All right, Tony.
I mean, they got wrestler. What they got? The wrestler like that. He used to be one of the Dudley boys.
Yeah.
Remember?
Yeah.
So you think he felt bad? You called him a bully?
No, it was part of the gimmick.
Yeah, but I mean, how proud of him to call himself a bully? Okay.
Bully Ray.
What did they call him? The coward?
Coward.
I see what up. They cowards.
Coward Ray wouldn't get over well.
That's right.
Yeah.
So every time, remember that every time you call it bullying, you're giving them power.
Job them out and call it cyber cowarding.
If it walks like a duck and quacks like a duck, it's a duck.
All right, wrestling fans, you heard it from the Hall of Famer. We're running out of time. Tony, you got more to say.
That didn't come from me. You know who that comes from?
Who did that come? Oh, Judge Judy.
Yes.
That's one of your favorites, I know.
Yes. But she tell it like it is. She just like me. Tell it like it is.
All right, Tony, we're very sorry for the fans and friends and family of Hana Kimura over in Japan. As far as what goes on here in the United States, I continue to believe, Tony, that WWE should invest in its own television show for these women so they're not comparing them to the men's matches, which are usually a little bit more stiffer, and maybe the fans wouldn't be so difficult on them. So again, as far as critiquing the wrestling is one thing. It is what it is. As far as critiquing sexual movements, I think that's highly inappropriate. Again, Tony, any final thoughts before we wrap it up, Bubba?
Well, I just wish he had them women there when I was there. I have all of them walking on me.
Yeah. They would cyberbully you with their feet.
No, they wouldn't. They could do the twat.
Well, the twat. All right.
The twat, baby.
All right, wrestling fans, for the Hall of Fame and Mr. USA, Tony Atlas, I'm Dan Marati. We're going to be back tomorrow. We're going to have a brand new episode of Atlas World News. Then hopefully later in the week, Tony and I are going to tape a couple of more audio episodes as we're working on some big surprises for you guys. The summer of big events we had planned, Tony, it's pretty much down the toilet at this point because of coronavirus, but we're still having some fun with these podcasts, and who knows what else we're going to have before it's all said and done. Am I right or wrong, Tony?
That's heavy.
All right. Well, again, fans, head on over to eBay. Tony's available for those commissioned drawings. He's got some prints available that are autographed. Great Father's Day gifts. He's doing personal phone calls. He's doing just about anything. He'll do birthday parties. He'll come to your house for Father's Day. He'll do autograph signings here, there, or anywhere. Until we see you again tomorrow, folks, be well. Good night.